This is Game Changer. It's the chance for you to send in your saves. I take a look and maybe offer some suggestions. We've got a save here today that comes from Denmark's second tier. The issue we have with this save is it needs to be rescued. So here we have a team that is newly promoted. They finished as champions in Division 3. Right now, they're in Division 2. They find themselves in deep trouble. They've only won 4 matches this season. It's understandable. They're newly promoted. Let's find out how they stack up in terms of CA. Yes, they aren't exactly favorites to stay in the division. 200 to 1 outsiders. This generally reflects the current ability of the team. And if they get better quality players, they probably be higher up in terms of the odds. We go to the squad planner and come down to comparison, we can see how they stack up. So in terms of physical attributes or defenders, as you can see, jumping reach for defenders, not very good. Acceleration, also not very good. Mentals for defenders, positioning is below average, 9. The best is about 11.33. A number closer to the average would have been better, but there are other concerns as well. Anticipation and concentration. The only thing here is maybe concentration is not that bad, but anticipation, you want the combination to be decent. Anticipation, concentration, and positioning, none of them stand out. And if we look at their technical skills as defenders, we are worried because marking, they're the worst, right? And that is going to be a problem for us. Okay, so if you look at the midfielders and their mental attributes, decision making is the only thing that stands out. Off the ball is generally average, positioning not so good, composure and concentration are important attributes, are pretty weak. I'm a bit worried here. Sometimes, if you don't have a technically good team, then you go for physical attributes. Here, physical attributes are also poor for strikers. They are poor for the midfielders. I mean, the physical attributes of the midfielders are below average. And the defenders, they can't jump. So you can't run in midfield. You can't jump in defense. And you can't get away in attack. So there's a problem with this. There are things that we need to address. I think this team is, frankly speaking, shouldn't be playing a 4-3-3. Because in a 4-3-3, you expect these strikers to get away and score goals, right? You want them to explode, get into the area, and you want a striker who's capable of finishing a lot of attempts on his own. Now, if I'm looking at your squad at the moment, goals, you've got Mark Grangria, who's scored you 15 goals. Okay, he's got decent acceleration, finishing, composure off the ball. The very, very bare bones he's got. So you've been using him as a striker. And then in terms of chance creation, we've only got one. I mean, there aren't a lot of players that are contributing a lot of chances in your team. And we got 4, 2, 2, 1. These are just assists. If you want to, we have to do a deeper dive. We need to find out how your players stack against the rest of the league. And to do that, I'm going to use... First, we're going to highlight all the central defenders in this league who have played, have at least made one appearance. So these are all... and these are your defenders, right? So these are just from Ishoch. These are all the players from your club. And these are the players from the division themselves. So it should include your players as well. Coming to our tool right now, upload. And we just want to see in terms of defensive actions where your players stack. Tactics, these are your defenders who can play in the center. You got Anderson, Hirschball, Pulsat, Kutlu, Yan. Players that have made at least 11. We got Pulsat and Hirschball as your main defenders. If I'm looking at defenders, your defenders aren't doing too badly. You got Ofori and Pulsat, they're doing the best that they can. They are ranked as one of the top 2 defenders in the league. They are putting in quite a shift compared to all the other defenders in terms of their defensive actions. So it's not bad. You've got the players who can do the defensive actions. Now let's take a look at your central midfielders. So looking at defensive actions, Holden, defensive actions 4.984, not too bad. Hirschsprung 3.384 is pretty average. Here, I'm going to take a look at how you set up your tactic. Because apparently the best player in that position is Hirschsprung has been played as a DM, so his defensive actions in this position haven't been very good. A better player would have been Holden. Holden's defensive actions are actually quite good. That's probably down to the fact that you might be playing him in a role that sees him do a fair few tackles. Let's just check and see whether that's the case. We're going to go to players, shots, interceptions for Holden. That's 5. That explains quite a lot. And then in terms of tackles, Holden also commits 3 and has done 2 clearances. This explains his contributions defensively. He does quite a lot of defensive contributions. Then we look at the other defender, which is Hirschsprung. You can see his tackles one are not that high, right? Out of the tackles that he's done, I'm not too impressed. Interceptions, only 2 as a DM, something to be concerned about, because I'd expect DMs to be making quite a few interceptions, and he's not making enough interceptions. So I'm looking at your team, and I would be a bit concerned about playing this player as a defensive mid, because as a defensive mid, he's not doing too much. Holden, if he's been playing as a ball-winning midfielder, it makes sense because he has been performing quite well high up in front. But I'd probably be looking at maybe using him in a deeper position here to support the back line. Next, we're just going to take a look at your strikers to see how they're done. All right, we're going to upload final third in. Now we've got all these players. Defensive, we're going to remove all this. I just want to see the calculations. Okay, calculated and player. And let's take a look at your squad. I mean, of course, we've got a few players that we want to check out. The highest rated player in terms of goals is currently your striker. And then in open play key passes is actually Ali Shah. All right, so looking at now for scoring efficiencies, normally I'm looking at numbers between 1.2 to 1.4. Anything higher, generally, they're shots from outside the area because we can verify this. Looking at this, it's 3 goals, XG 1.42. A few of these are probably long shots. So this is fine. And then we come to these players as well. Tobias Bach, another player who's probably scored a few benders from outside the area. Yeah, 1 goal, and this was a long shot from outside the area. We could, remove this, select greater than. We want to see players who scored more than 2 goals, right? So then it's more than 2 goals, we get a far better idea of just goal scorers. So if you're just looking at the top goal scorers in the league, we got Bastian Cruz, 2.113. He scored 2 goals, 1 from outside the area. We've got this Andrea Fester. But our striker, 0.989. I'm not impressed, right? This is very average. Now, if I remove this, we can also look at chance creation, which is players that are decent at creating goal-scoring opportunities. 1.256, any number 0.5 and higher is quite good. So we've got Ali Shah, who's your player, and Gangia. I mean, Gangia can create chances and also put them away. Ali Shah has been playing as your winger, can create chances. He can put them away. In fact, we should try and get him into goal-scoring positions a lot more often because he's very good at putting them away. This is 1.299. So this is a good number because anything between 1.2 and 1.4 is, I think, is great. Well, 2.113 is normally an indication that there are a few long shots. Just like this, there could be a few headers and long shots here. So I'm normally looking at 1.2 to 1.4. Those are normally a sign that this guy is a decent striker. Other than that, in terms of creating chances, looking at Goddard here, who's got open play key pass of 1.744. There we go. Yeah, he's pretty solid at creating chances. So we got Goddard can create chances. Ali Shah can create and score, so he should really be playing as an inside forward. And then we got Gangia. Gangia can put them away, but I think this guy is going to be more like a striker, part of a 3. Yeah, I would say that your idea of using a 3-man force isn't a bad one. We could also start thinking in terms of other formations. I'm not a big fan of the 4-3-3 when I'm newly promoted because in order for us to score lots of goals with a 4-3-3, one of these guys could attack. And then we got commit at least one of the fullbacks into an attacking pattern. Leaves us very vulnerable at the back. You could play both of these 2 guys as holding midfielders and then maybe depend more on the flanks and getting 2 strikers into an attacking pattern, because sometimes I think as an underdog, you're better off playing with 2 strikers because then you get you will have 2 DMs to protect you, And you got two strikers. Alternative formations also include the 5-2-3 because the 5-2-3 has got 5 players in defense. You can have 2 defensive midfielders and 3 in attack. Also something to consider, but I would probably not play this because you're gonna have to commit one of these, and this once you get one of these players moving forward, it kind of creates a hole in this area because you got to get this player up to support as well, because you need the players to support that central midfielder making those kind of runs. And this, while this is a decent formation, it's good defensively. However, the moment you want to start scoring goals, you got to think about pushing players forward or hitting teams on the break and hoping you score some goals. I think let's just try and do something a lot simple. I'm planning a relatively simple system because Shah really is the only player here out wide who can get into the area to shoot. So inside forward attack here, we'll play an inside forward support here. We're going to have a wing back doing a natural overlap here. We'll have another wing back on this side. We're going to swap this. This guy's going to be DM on defense. And this guy is going to be a segundo volante on support. I don't really want this area opening up too much. We put this play here, making sure that these guys are crossing from deep, marking tight. A wing back on attack, Badran, Shah, Goddard. Now we got to worry about the bench. We're going to make sure that the bench has got at least a few players who are under the age of 21. Nikobin, 6 on the table. If we look at the season preview, 4 to 5 watts. Okay, this is going to be a tough game. I think I'm going to play this role as a wingback on support. We're just going to keep it simple. We're going to play on a cautious mentality since we're playing away from home. Yes, this is not going to be an easy game for us. Okay, so they've got a free kick in a dangerous area. All right, not too bad. The boys did fine. Goalkeeper kicks it long, Gamechanger. Again, the pressure, opening up the center. Again, this is one of the reasons why I actually wanted to play with a regista. Defensively, okay. Ofori out to the other white center back, goes long to a striker. And the wing back gets in. Bratton, striker. Again, when they're not getting away. Let's see if I can ask him. Dribble more, take more risks. I'm hoping that he gets away. We managed to do okay, but I would prefer it if we had actually taken the lead. I'm gonna try this guy as a regista. I prefer the regista because the regista doesn't really push up too much. Okay, that's our goalkeeper is gonna kick. The DM is here. Advance forward, good work from the wing back. Here's the inside forward. There we go. Into the area, the wing back with the shot. All right, that's nice. Okay, we got Simon Holden. Now I've got to take him off. So we're gonna bring on Overguard. It's challenging to play here because your bench strategy is ruled by the fact that you need 3 good under 21 players. So it's really tough playing in this league if you don't have you don't have a long-term development plan as well. So you need a long-term development plan because you're gonna have to have everybody being able to play. So Denmark actually is a great place for long-term youth development. Because if you get the players and you sort out your long-term plans, then you're going to be able to at least play 3 of them every time. So that's quite interesting. It's a very interesting place to start long-term youth development safe. Norolov, a good block from our defenders. Pedersen out wide, breaks away. There's time on the clock for one last chance. Ankerson, Polsgaard into the area. Again, players they're not too bad. The formation is looking quite solid. Into the area again. Defending. Into the area again. And it's a goal! Right at the death. No, it's offside. I thought it was a goal. You looked offside though. Yeah. Corner taken. Good work. Defending well. I think the team looked really strong in the closing stages. Bark again. It's not a bad performance. It's not a bad performance. I think that there's something to build on. And think that we may have to play the Regista. With this kind of a save, it's clear to me that your first 11 has to be concrete. You got to make a firm decision. And those 3 under 21 players are your long-term youth development plans. So you got to have to pick the right players all the time. And these players have got to be able to play in your system already. I can see some players who are under the age of 21 who might have a chance, but this requires a lot of thought on your part as well, because I can offer you the tactical system. You will have to develop those youth players, and I would recommend a DM, a winger, and a wingback. All right, here we go. Next game. Same formation. We're not going to change things around. And we're going to encourage our boys. In fact, at home, right? We're gonna go on a bit of an attacking mentality. So we're gonna shift up to attacking mentality. We're gonna play the same way. Once again, I forgot to add dribble more and take more risk on the advance forward. We got Nemec, the other striker that you just signed on the bench as well, in case Gamechanger doesn't fulfill all his hidden potential. So first half has been goalless. We have been very defensive all the way. They've only had 1 shot on target. Hansen, Peterson, Moberg, they tried to attack us. They have shifted off the post. Here we go again. They're attacking us. They managed to get inside, and so we managed to get the equalizer, staying on point, not really changing the way we are playing at the moment. Not too bad. We get a scorching winner from outside the area. Ofori. Lowenstein plays it to Brayton, the wingback. Finds the roof of the net. We win this game 2-1. So in our next match, we're going to be playing against the league leaders and hoping that we can pull off a decent result here. Expecting them to be attacking us for most of the game, and we shall see if we can hit them on the break. Wingback out wide. Nice ball to Shah. They get into the area. Can he do something with this? Oh, the idea was there, but the execution wasn't so good. Again, I think overall, I think this system that we are playing could be pretty decent, because the opposition haven't really made a lot of quality chances in and around our area apart from that 1 penalty. We're going to demand more from our boys. We're going to make 1 substitution for Holden. Bring on Overgaard again. The wing back out to Brayton. Brayton brings it to the defender. He gets our striker into the area. There's some pressure on them defensively, but we managed to get the ball. I like what I see, actually. Yeah. Oh, we've gotten the equalizer. Not too bad. Not too bad. I think this is the way your team could be playing. I'm pretty happy with how we set ourselves up. We're hitting them with early crosses, and we're taking advantage of Gamechanger. 1 man up front. We're not overcommitting our attacks. And it's decent enough. We've gone away to the league leaders and we walked away with a point. If I'm looking at the XG, not that fantastic. But if you look at the sum total of great chances they've had, not a lot. So we've had 2 draws and a win in 3 matches. I think that this could be something that your team can build on. So tactically speaking, let's keep things simple. You can play on cautious or attacking mentality. At home, you can play on attacking mentality. Away, you can play on cautious. It's a pretty easy setup. And we don't have too many team instructions. So we're also doing distribute quickly, counter press, counter. We've got a lot of safe roles here. We've got Regista. I really like the Regista because you don't have somebody carrying the ball asking for trouble. We got Regista. They don't dribble a lot, so they're kind of safe in a sense, but they need a lot of protection. But here we've got DM, we got Regista, we got wingback on support, another wingback on support here. Here we've got cover. You really have to play Ofori here all the time. right? He's probably the only player here who can read the game, and he won't take. I mean, he hoofs the ball sometimes. He doesn't have a great passing range. So he just puts one over the top 99% of the time. I mean, you could also tell him to be a no nonsense center back. So whenever he wins the ball, he hoofs one up. Yeah, it's definitely an option for you. Either role will be fine for him. White center backs on support, we cross from deep and mark tighter. Then we got wing backs. Here again, I would recommend cross from deep for the wing backs. Right. And here I actually forgot to add mark tight. I would recommend adding mark tight on both the wing backs on either side and telling them to cross from deep. Okay, then we've got inside forwards who've been told to mark tighter. Inside forward here we mark tighter. So these are instructions here. Cross from deep here. Cross from deep here. Because the reason I want these guys, I do definitely want them aiming for the target forward as well. The target forward is on this side of the pitch, so they will release the inside forward. We've got inside forward here marking tight, inside forward here marking tight. This role will tell him to dribble more and take more risks. So we've got, this is a setup. It's very, very safe. There's not too much in this. And away from home, if you feel comfortable at home, you can always go attacking as well. You can drop it down to positive and then drop the passing down to slightly shorter, and you move the ball a bit more around. Yeah, there'll be a few more shorter passes. I think this could be the way you set things up. Certain players have added to your roster, like Log Peterson. We added him in. Then I like Loyens. I mean, these are basically only choices: Lowenstein and Holden in midfield. Then I've got Overgaard coming on from the bench to support one of these positions when needed. Wing backs, I use Ankerson. Can use I don't know how you pronounce this name. You can use him as a wing back. Of course, there are other wing backs as well in the team who are decent. Bratton can also be played here because he's got a 9 for crossing. Then up Shah, I really like him as an inside forward on the right, played on the left side to attack this area, and then the inside forward on the right side would probably be there are a few players, but I could start with this player, or we could start with Pedersen as well. These are the two other options that you have. But the way I look at it, your bench has got to have your future is on the bench. So you're going to be bringing quite a number of youngsters through who can play in the system. And I would recommend that you start looking at your own under-19s team and probably looking to see which of these under-19s can make the transition up to the main team. If it was me, I would probably start with Karim Salami as a striker. That's possible for the future. But you don't have many other choices. I mean, here you've got somebody who probably can play as a central midfielder, but he's 31 years old. Let's forget all about him. The other thing I would recommend is your staff, right? Coaching team. I'm not a big fan of this setup here. You probably can get rid. I mean, I wouldn't bother too much about the attributes at the moment. Yeah, neither of these coaches has got. It's vital that you get great attributes. I mean, working with youngsters is semi-decent, but I would be more concerned about getting staff here who have got better personalities, so that they influence the kind of personalities that are coming through your youth team. Because when I'm looking at the personalities in a youth team, they're not a lot of good personalities. Sometimes all you need decent personalities, because even if you bring these players through to your senior team, they might not develop, right? This guy might not develop. These three are not going to develop. So you're left with, I would say you got left with probably this group here, lighthearted, fairly professionals, a fairly determined player here. Yeah, it's going to take a while. You're not going to see a sudden influx of great players. But at least with good personalities, there is a chance that they will develop. And looking at your under-19s team and looking at your highest potential player, like here, this guy could fool progress. You can see his development hasn't been that good, right? In 1 year, this is not very good actually. Yeah. So, but this is down to your training facilities as well. So I wouldn't be too dejected because this, if you want your players to develop really well, the facilities have to be there. I would probably concentrate on getting myself into the higher tiers before I worry about development. Once you start generating more and more funds, your facilities will improve. You might get players, you might have 5-star players with fantastic personalities, but if your training facilities are average at best or even poor, you're not going to see a lot of development. They might grow for a while, but after that, you won't see fantastic development. So I would focus more on getting decent results first, and then cherry picking from the three that you can find in your under youth teams that can be given a chance in the senior team. But right now, your simple thing that I would suggest you do for your save is change your formation to something that's a lot harder for teams to break down, and at least leverage off the strengths of the players that you already have. I hope you found this Game Changer episode helpful. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. Meanwhile, you guys stay safe, take care of each other. I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.